Hey, get get this frog out of my throat this morning. Good Monday morning, everybody. It's a blessing that we have to be back together again to get our dose of God's Word, to get our spiritual vitamins, so to speak, and get our day and our week started off right. And I want to look at a passage this morning for just a few moments over in the book of James. In the letter that James has written here, he's talking about faith, he's talking about trials, he's talking about patience. He's talking about all these types of things. And let's look at some things here. He says, James chapter 1 and in verse 2, he says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall or you encounter various trials." Now that seems like just the polar opposite is, when things in this life, whether it's just life in general, or maybe it's from external forces, maybe it's those that are close to us, or whatever it might be, that comes along and begins to really give us some issues and some things in life. But he says, count it all joy. Now, how in the world could we count, disruption or drama or whatever it is? How in the world could we consider that all joy? Well, let's look at the next verse. Knowing, all right? Knowing, there's something we've got to know, that the testing of your faith produces patience. Now, here's a very interesting passage. Consider it all joy, my beloved brethren, when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. Now, here's something that we need to understand. Not everything is a trial. Sometimes we think, well, something is kind of derailed. Oh, well, that's a trial. Here's the concept of a trial. It's not a issue of life. It is something that is challenging our faith that could result in us giving up or walking away from our faith. All right, so let's read this again. The testing of your faith. That's the topic under discussion that James is putting out here for us this morning. Our faith is what is being targeted, not as personally, not something along those lines, but specifically and pointedly, the bullseye is that of our faith. So we've all got issues in life. I've got issues that come up in my life. There's things that come up, but it doesn't affect my faith. It doesn't challenge my faith. It doesn't cause me to pause and say, oh, well, wait a minute, I better stop this because I might get in trouble. Someone might think bad about me, or I might have to go to jail because of my faith. That's what we're talking about. And so, here when we talk about, James is talking, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. Okay, so when my faith is, or maybe there's something or someone that comes up and they're challenging my faith. They're causing me to put my faith on the line. Am I going to toe the line? Am I going to stand strong? Or am I going to cower? Am I going to back down? Or am I just going to, just throw my arms up and say, I just can't do it, God? That's the situations that we're talking about. So count it all joy. It's like David's friends in the fiery furnace when they would not bow down to Nebuchadnezzar. I love the statement that they made there. I just kind of paraphrase, kind of what they said here, but this is the gist of it. So there's nothing here to talk about Nebuchadnezzar. There's nothing to discuss it. You want to throw us in there? You just do whatever you think is going to make you happy. But we're not going to bow down. God can deliver us. He may not deliver us. But either way, it doesn't matter. You see, that's the point that James is making here, is that, our faith is going to be challenged at times. And we should consider that all joy, because it's, in a sense, it's a barometer to tell us where our faith is. Am I going to just shrug these things off? Are these trials, or these challenges that's coming to my faith, are they just going to be like water on a duck's back, or is it going to cause me to pause and stop and say, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I can do this. That's what we're talking about. That's what James is writing here. But notice this. He says, but let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. So when these trials come up, that where I'm faced to put my faith on the line, I can count it all joy. Why? Because I'm not in it alone. And if I need wisdom of how to handle this certain situation or how to handle this certain person or groups of people, all I got to do is ask God. God, how do I handle this? I'm not going to shrink back. I'm not going to cower. I'm not going to give up. God, how do I handle this? And sometimes a simple act of how we handle something is just do nothing. Is just keep doing what we're doing, just like Daniel did. He just went back to his room and he prayed just like he always did. Sometimes that's just all we do. We just ignore and we just press on with what we always do. And so here's our dose of God's word today. Is our faith is going to be challenged at times. But the question is, how will I deal with that? How will I deal with that? Will I let it affect me to where I will stop serving God? Where I will pause, where I will step back? Or will I just press on and just simply ask God, okay, God, how do I handle these people, this person, this situation that's causing me to put my faith on the line? That's what we're talking about. That's where we need to get, is that we are not, again, a trial is not some issue in life. There's issues in life that don't challenge my faith and my commitment to God at all. That's not a trial. That's just an issue of life. James is talking about trials that causes us to put our faith on the line. What am I going to do? Am I going to stand with God, or am I going to retreat? And what we need to do is just ask God, how do I handle this? Because I'm not going to retreat. I'm not going to back up. I'm not going to deny. How do I handle it? And sometimes it's just press on, just ignore them and just press on with what we normally do. There's your dose of God's word. I hope it'll do you some good. This passage always does me a lot of good when I look at it. But at any rate, I'm glad we had this time together. I hope these words and this passage will help you out in your faith as well, and strengthen you, and that your faith can be increased by the Lord also. And so, Lord willing, tomorrow we'll get back and we'll get another dose of God's word to get our day started off right. So y'all have a great day, and Lord willing, we will see you tomorrow in the AM. We'll see you then. Y'all have a great day.